welcome you in the lecture series of Basics of Communication Engineering. It is 21st lecture of this series. In previous lecture, we have discussed about pulse amplitude modulation, pulse width modulation, and their generation and detection. In this lecture, I would like to discuss about pulse position modulation and introduction to digital transmission. And the outline of this lecture are pulse position modulation, PPM, comparison of PAM, PWM and PPM system, introduction of digital pulse modulation, and types of digital pulse modulation, where we will discuss pulse code modulation and comparison of analog and digital modulation. In the objective of this lecture, you will able to explain the generation and detection of PPM signals, advantages of digital pulse modulation, types of digital pulse modulation, and pulse code modulation transmitter. So first of all, we will start with the generation of PPM signals. In PPM, the amplitude and width of the pulsed carrier remains constant, but the position of each pulse is varied in proportional with the amplitude of the modulating signal. The position of pulse is changed with respect to the position of the reference pulse. And generation block diagram and PPM signal can be generated using PWM signal, and you can see in your block diagram the PWM pulse are obtained at the comparator output are applied to a monostable multi-vibrator. So we have already discussed about this. We are going to apply on the non-inverting and the baseband signal in the non-invert and in the inverting end we will apply sawtooth signal, and after the comparator we will get the pulse width modulation signal, and we applied this to the monostable multi vibrator, then we will get the pulse position modulation signal, and the monostable is a negative edge triggered. So the corresponding to each trailing edge of the PWM signal, the monostable output goes high. It remains high for a fixed time decided by the its own RC component. So the RC component involved in this, it will decide the output how goes it remains high for a particular fixed duration. So the trailing edge of the PWM signal keeps shifting in proportional with the modulating signal xt, and the ppm pulses also keep shifting, as you can see in this figure. Increase in the modulating voltage of ppm pulses, and here ppm pulses have the same width and amplitude. The information is conveyed via changing the position of the pulses. The vertical dotted lines are treated as reference line to measure the shift in the position of the ppm pulses. The leading edge of each ppm pulse coincide with the trailing pulse of the PWM pulse. This is the PWM pulses, and after passing this PWM to the monostable multi-vibrator, then we will get the pulse position modulation pulses. And the pulses 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see here, they away from their respective reference line, and 5, 6, 7 pulses come progressively close to their respective reference lines. The noise corrupted ppm waveform is received by the ppm demodulator circuit, and the pulse now demodulation of ppm. The block diagram of ppm modulator, as you can see in this figure, there is pulse generator, reference pulse generator, and flip-flop, RS flip-flop, and PW demodulator. And ppm pulses are applied to pulse generator and the reference pulse generator. So here the noise corrupted ppm waveform is received by the ppm demodulator circuit. The pulse generator develops a pulse waveform at its output of a fixed duration and apply these pulses to the reset pin R of the RS flip-flop. The fixed period reference pulse is generated from the incoming ppm waveform, and RS flip-flop is set by the reference pulse line. So R in the S is connected with the reference pulse generator, and due to the set and reset signals applied to the flip-flop, we get PWM signal at its output. The PWM signal can be demodulated using PWM demodulator, which we have discussed in previous lecture, the PWM demodulator. So after this modulator, we will get our modulating signal or our baseband signal. Now, advantages of PPM. Due to constant amplitude of PPM pulses, the information is not contained in the amplitude. So the noise added to PPM signal does not distort the information. So it has good noise immunity. And due to constant amplitude of the pulses, the transmitted power always remains constant. It does not change as it used in PWM. Now, disadvantages. As the position of the ppm pulses is varied with respect to the reference pulses, a transmitter has to send a synchronization pulses to operate the timing circuits in the receiver. Without them, the demodulator would not be possible to achieve, and large bandwidth is required to ensure transmission of undistorted pulses. And if you talk about the application, ppm is used in some military applications. Now we will discuss comparison of PAM, PWM and PPM system. Now if we compare with the type of carriers in PPM, PWM and PAM, the train of pulses are used as the carrier. And if we talk about the variable characteristic of the pulse carrier, in PAM the amplitude is the variable characteristic, and in PWM the width of the pulse is the variable characteristic, and PPM the position of the pulse is the variable characteristic. And if we talk about the bandwidth requirement, in PAM the bandwidth requirement is low, in PWM the bandwidth requirement is high, and also in PPM the bandwidth requirement is high. And if we talk about the noise immunity, the PAM are less noise immune, or you can say the noise immunity is low in PAM, but in PWM and PPM noise immunity is high. And the information is contained in, so in the form of, in PAM the information is contained in the form of amplitude variation, in PWM the information is contained in width variation, and PPM the information is contained in position variation. Now if we talk about the transmitted power, in PAM the transmitted power varies with amplitude of the pulses, and in PWM the transmitted power is varies with variation in the width, and in PPM the transmitted power remains constant. And if we talk about the need to transmit synchronization pulses, in PAM there is no need to transmit the synchronized pulses, but and in PWM there is also no need to transmit the synchronizing pulses, but in PPM there is necessary to transmit the synchronizing pulses. And if we talk about the complexity of generation and detection, PAM are complex and PWM are easier, and PPM are also complex. And the simplicity with other modulation system, the PAM is similar to amplitude modulation, and PWM is similar to frequency modulation, and pulse position modulation is similar to phase modulation. And if we talk about the waveform, you can see on your screen the waveform of PAM looks like there, where the amplitude is varying in accordance with the modulating signal, the amplitude of the pulses. This is varied according to the modulating signal xt, and here the width of the pulses is changed in accordance with the modulating signal, and in pulse position modulation the position of the pulse from the reference line is changed in accordance with the amplitude of the modulating signal. Now the introduction of digital pulse modulation. So far, modulating techniques that we have studied for transmission analog baseband signal, that is voice and video signals over communication channel. The techniques studied are continuous wave modulation and analog pulse modulation. Although these two families of modulation techniques are different, they share similar attributes and limits. These two families of modulation techniques offers the same performance when they are applied to the transmission of analog signals over communication channel. In context of the performance, we are thinking in terms of the transmission bandwidth requirement and the receiver noise behavior. The operational feature that distinguish the two families is that the continuous wave modulation techniques operates on the continuous time, whereas the analog pulse modulation techniques operates in discrete time. In going from continuous waveform modulation to the analog pulse modulation, we have to move discrete time signal processing. Why not go one step further and uh, and also incorporate amplitude discretization? This is precisely what is done in digital pulse modulation. And so we have a new modulation technique for transmission of analog signal over communication channel. The advantages offered by the digital pulse modulation techniques are the performance. The communication system that use digital pulse modulation is known as a digital communication system. In analog communication system, using either a continuous wave modulation or analog pulse modulation technique, signal distortion and channel noise are cumulative. And unfortunately, the use of repeaters in the form of amplifier placed at different points along the transmission line offer little helps because message signal and noise are amplified to the same extent. In contrast, digital pulses modulation permits the use of regenerative repeaters which when placed along the transmission path at a short enough distance practically eliminate the degrading effects of the channel noise and signal distortion. Now, another point is the ruggedness. Unlike an analog communication system, a digital communication system can keep the noise and distortion under certain limits. Reliability. Digital communication system can be made highly reliable by exploiting the powerful error control coding techniques. And security, on the point of a security point of view, the digital communication system can be made highly secure by exploiting powerful encryption algorithm. And efficiency, digital communication systems are inherently more efficient than analog communication system in the trade-off between transmission bandwidth and signal to noise ratio. And another point, the advantage of digital communication system is the system integration. The use of digital communication system makes it possible to integrate digitized analog signals, that is voice and video signals, with digital computer data. It is not possible with analog communication system. And the seventh point, it is possible to store the signal and process it further. And eighth point, it is possible to use a uniform format for different kinds of baseband signal. So all these are possible for the digital communication only. And another point is digital signals are better suited for processing and multiplexing, and measurement and evaluation of the digital signal is simpler. This is the impressive list of advantages has made the use of a digital pulse modulation technique for the transmission of voice and video signals over communication channel. Besides these advantages, there are some disadvantages. The required bandwidth is increased due to digital technology, and system complexity is increased in order to convert the analog signal to digital prior to the transmission, and then from digital to analog at the receiver end. We need to use additional encoder and decoder circuits, and synchronization is necessary for the digital system transmitter and receiver clock, and digital transmission systems are not compatible to older analog communication system. These are some disadvantages of digital communication, digital pulse modulation technique. And there are different types of digital pulse modulation: pulse code modulation, differential pulse code modulation, delta modulation, and adaptive delta modulation. Digital pulse modulation is used in microwave band that is 1 gigahertz to 1000 gigahertz, or you can say 30 to 0.3 centimeter wavelength. Now here we will discuss about pulse code modulation. PCM is a type of pulse modulation like PAM, PWM or PPM, but there is an important difference between them. PAM, PWM or PPM are analog pulse modulation system, whereas PCM is a digital pulse modulation system. This means that PCM output is in encoded digital form and the information is transmitted in the form of code words. And a PCM system consists of a PCM encoder transmitter and PCM decoder receiver. The essential operation in the PCM transmitter are sampling, quantization, and encoding. And it should be understood that the PCM is not a modulation in conventional sense, because in the modulation one of the characteristic of the carrier is varied in proportional with the modulating signal, with the amplitude of the modulating signal, and nothing of that sort happen in this PCM. So this is not basically a modulation, this is a encoding technique. Now PCM transmitter or PCM encoder. This is the block diagram of the PCM transmitter you can see on your screen. The basic operation performed in the transmitter of a PCM system are sampling, quantization and encoding. This is sampling, quantization and encoding. So the analog signal XT is passed through a band limited low pass filter first, so which has a cutoff frequency FM. This will ensure that xt will not have any frequency greater than fm, so the your signal will be band limited signal now. And this will eliminate the possibility of aliasing. The band limiting analog signal is then passed to the sample and hold circuit, where it is sampled at a adequate high sampling rate. Output of the sample and hold block is a flat top PAM signal. So here we will get the flat top PAM signal. These sample PAM signals are then applied to the quantizer. Quantization is the process which make the digital communication system to have superior noise performance. In the process of quantization of a signal XCT, we create a new signal XQT. So if there is signal XT, we will create a signal XQT here. And there are two types of quantization: uniform quantization and non-uniform quantization, and we will discuss in detail about quantization in the next lecture. The quantized PAM signal, these signals are applied to the encoder. Each quantized level is converted into an n-bit digital words by encoder. The value of n can be 8, 16, 32, 64. So there are n digital words are encoded. The encoder output is converted into streams of pulses by the parallel to serial converter block, and finally we will get the train of pulses PCM. And a pulse generator produce a train of rectangular pulses, as you can see here, and the duration of this pulse is tau second. The frequency of this signal is fs hertz. This signal acts as a sampling signal for the sample and hold circuit. The same signal acts as a clock signal for the parallel to serial converter. As you can see, we had applied the pulse generator to the parallel to serial converter and the sample and hold circuit. The frequency fs is adjusted to satisfy the Nyquist criteria. The waveform at the various point in the PCM transmitter you can see in your figure. Here this is the continuous time signal, and this is the pulse generated output, the train of pulses, and at the output of the hold sample and hold circuit it is the flat top PAM signal. And after quantization we will get this type of quantized PAM signal, and at the output we will get the signal in digital form 010 form. So this is the from transmitter end, and we can generate the PCM pulse code modulation system where the signal is in the digital form. This is important to understand that the output in the form of binary codes, and each transmitted binary codes represent a particular amplitude of the input signal. So information is contained in the code which is being transmitted. If the range of the input signal is divided into 8 equal levels, so if I am going to divide the range of the levels, then there will be 3 bits digits words. We can represent these 8 levels. 2 is to the power 3, so 8 levels can be represented by 3 bits, means from 000 to 111. So 8 levels can be represented by using only 3 bits, the combination of 3 binary bits. So these levels can be represented here. And so if you can say, if I am going to represent 8 levels, so 3 bits will be required to represent each level. The input signal is sampled if the sample is in the, you can say, the fifth window. So there are different windows are here. This is window first, second, third. So if this is lies in this is window first, window second. So if this is lies in window fifth, so we can say in this is the window fifth. And if your signal lies in this window fifth, then we can represent this signal in binary form as 101. And if the sample is in the second window, then the transmitted word is 010 and so on. So we can have these binary words, and these words can be represented in the form of waveform. So the output waveform for 111, it is like this, and for 101 this is the waveform, and for 010, 001, 001 and 010, so different levels can be represented by the binary. In this example we have converted the amplitude into 3 bit codes, but in practice the number of bits per word can be as high as 8, 9 or 10. So this is only example. Now, PCM transmission path and regenerative repeaters. The path between the PCM transmitter and PCM receiver over which the PCM signal travels is known as the PCM transmission path, as you can see here. And the most important feature of the PCM system lies in its ability to control the effect of distortion and noise when the PCM wave travels along the channel. PCM perform this task by means of using chain of regenerative repeaters. As you can see in this figure, the regenerative repeaters perform three basic operations, mainly quantization, timing and decision making. So each repeaters actually reproduce the clean noise free PCM signal from the PCM signal distorted by the channel noise, and this improves the performance of the PCM in presence of noise. So if there is distorted signal PCM signal is distorted by the noise, the regenerative repeaters produce the clean PCM signal, then it is traveled, and after again if this is distorted by the noise, the regenerative repeaters again regenerate the PCM waveform. So doing this we can have our transmitted signal back clean at the receiving end. Now, comparison of analog and digital modulation. The transmitted modulated signal in analog in nature, and in digital modulation the transmitted signal is digital, that is train of digital pulses. And in analog modulation, amplitude, width, position, frequency or phase variation in the transmitted signal represents the information of the message. But in digital modulation, amplitude, width or position of the transmitted pulse is constant. The message is transmitted in the form of code words. And in analog modulation, noise immunity is poor for AM but improves for FM and PM. And in digital modulation, noise immunity is excellent. And analog modulation, it is not possible to separate the noise and signal, so repeaters cannot be used in the analog modulation. But in digital modulation it is possible to separate the signal from the noise, so repeaters can be used. And in analog modulation, coding is not possible, but in digital modulation, coding techniques can be used to detect and correct the errors. And in analog modulation, bandwidth required is lower than that of a digital modulation method. And in digital modulation, due to higher bits rate, higher channel bandwidth is required. And in analog modulation, FDM is used for multiplexing, and in digital modulation, TDM is used for multiplexing. And in analog modulation, note this analog modulation not suitable for transmission of secret information in military application. And digital modulation, due to coding techniques, it is suitable for the military application. And analog modulation systems are AM, FM, PM, PAM, PWM. And digital modulation system are PCM, pulse code modulation, delta modulation, adaptive delta modulation, and DPCM. And this is the end of this lecture. Here we have discussed about pulse position modulation, comparison of PAM, PWM and PPM system, and introduction of digital pulse modulation, pulse code modulation and pulse code modulation transmitter. This was 21st lecture of the lecture series of Basics of Communication Engineering. In the next lecture, we will discuss about PCM receiver quantization process, signaling rate and transmission bandwidth of PCM, compounded PCM, compressor techniques and advantages and disadvantages of PCM. Till then, thanks for listening this lecture. Thank you.